Almost every person who never started the thing they were called to build told themselves the same story. I will start when I have more money. Today I want to show you why that story is the most expensive one you will ever tell yourself, and why everything you actually need to begin is already in your hands. Let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting for money before you start? Is it 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? And here is what I want you to honestly consider. In all that time you have been waiting, has more money arrived and solved the problem? Or has the goalpost simply moved? Because here is what I have noticed about the more money story. It is never really about the money. It is about something much deeper. Something that money could never actually fix. And until you see what that something is, no amount of money will ever feel like enough to begin. Here is the false belief I want to address today. And that belief is, I need more money before I can start. Now, this belief sounds practical. It sounds responsible. It even sounds like wisdom. I am just being realistic. I am just making sure I have what I need before I take the leap. But here is the truth. Money is almost never the real barrier to starting. Fear is. And money is the most socially acceptable excuse that fear has ever found. Because when you say, I do not have enough money, nobody questions it. Nobody says, are you sure that is the real reason? Nobody pushes back. It sounds completely reasonable, so fear hides behind it, safely, quietly, indefinitely, and the dream stays exactly where it has always been, in the same day file, waiting for a financial condition that keeps moving further away the closer you think you are getting to it. In Exodus chapter 4 verse 2 says, God asked Moses one of the most powerful questions in the entire Bible. What is that in your hand? Moses was standing in front of a burning bush. God was calling him to one of the greatest assignments in human history. It was to go before Pharaoh to lead an entire nation out of slavery. What is that in your hand? Moses was standing in front of a burning bush. God was calling him to one of the greatest assignments in human history. It was to go before Pharaoh to lead an entire nation out of slavery. And Moses did what most of us do. He started listing everything he did not have. I am not eloquent enough. I am not qualified enough. I am nobody. They will not listen to me. And God interrupted all of that with one simple question. What is that in your hand? Moses had a staff, just a simple wooden stick. And God said, that is enough. Start with that. That staff parted the Red Sea, not because of what it was, but because of who was behind it. God has never asked you to start with everything. He has only ever asked you to start with what is already in your hands. The question is not, do you have enough? The question is, what is in your hand right now? Let me show you something that will completely reframe how you think about starting. Every significant thing ever built in this world started with less than what the person building it thought they needed. Every single one. Not because those people were reckless, but because they understood something that waiting people never do. Resources follow vision, not the other way around. Most people are waiting for resources before they commit to the vision. But the people who build things commit to the vision first. And then watch as the resources begin to appear. This is not wishful thinking. This is how it actually works. When you commit, and I mean really commit, to building something, your mind starts to see opportunities it never saw before. Connections start to appear that were always there but invisible to an uncommitted eye. Doors open that were always there but only visible to someone who was moving towards them. You do not attract resources by waiting for them. You attract resources by moving without them. And here is what I want you to understand about money specifically. Most of the things you believe require money to start require far less than you think. And most of the things that actually matter when starting something new cannot be bought at any price. Courage cannot be purchased. Conviction cannot be purchased. Clarity cannot be purchased. Character cannot be purchased. Because these are the real currencies of starting. And every single one of them is already available to you right now. Not when you have more money, right now, today, with exactly what is already in your hand. I want to share something with you today that I rarely talk about. When I started building what I am building, I did not have all the resources I thought I needed. I did not have a big platform. I did not have a large budget. I did not have all the tools and systems that I thought were required. And for a long time, I used that as a reason to wait. I told myself that when I have more, I will start properly. When I have more, I will show up fully. When I have more, I will take this seriously. But one day I asked myself a question. What if more never comes because I never started? What if the resources I am waiting for are actually waiting on the other side of the decision I keep refusing to make? That question changed everything for me. I stopped waiting for perfect resources and started working with what I had. And what I had, which felt like nowhere near enough at that time, turned out to be exactly enough to begin. Not to finish, not to have it all figured out, but to begin. And beginning is all God ever asked of me. The rest He handled. So what do you do with this today? Here is one simple exercise that will change everything. Take out a piece of paper right now, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write what I am waiting to have before I start. On the right side, write what I already have right now. And be ruthlessly honest about both sides, because I guarantee you this: the right side of that page is fuller than you think. You have time, even if it is just 30 minutes a day. You have a phone which has a camera, a studio, and a publishing platform all in one. You have a story which is the most valuable content you will ever create. You have experience which is something no money can buy and no competitor can copy. You have faith, which is the one resource that has never once run out on the people who used it. The left side of that page is a list of excuses dressed up as requirements. The right side is your starting point, and your starting point is enough. It has always been enough. You just needed permission to see it that way. Consider this your permission. I want to ask you something right now, and I want you to answer it in the comments below. What is in your hand? Not what you wish you had, not what you are waiting for. What do you actually have right now that you have been underestimating? Write it down. Because sometimes the act of naming what you already have is what finally gives you the courage to use it. Here is what I want you to carry with you after this video. Somewhere between where you are right now and where you are trying to go, there is a version of you that started. Not perfectly, not with everything in place, not when the timing was right and the money was ready and the conditions were ideal, but just started with what they had, where they were, as they were. And that decision, that one imperfect, courageous decision to begin, changed the entire direction of everything that came after that. That version of you is not in the future. That version of you is a decision away. And so I want to leave you with one question today. Not a complicated question, not a question that requires research, preparation, more money or more time. Just one simple question that has the power to change everything. What would you start today if you finally believed that what you already have was always enough?